First of all, I just want to thank all of you for being here today one more time. How did it go?
Amazing.
Great. So really what I want to do is just set up a little bit of a framework of a recap of everything I've kind of sensed over the last 2 days. There are mic stands in 4 places throughout. There are 2 for everybody up there in the bleachers. There's right there. So I really want to go into Q&A and maximize our time together. But what I really want to talk about before I go into that is, in the macro, I genuinely believe that this is the greatest era to be navigating in the human race. I just actually believe that. I believe that we've made so many advances, but most of all, everybody that's here today has the luxury of being alive during the prime years of the internet, which is the disproportionate invention in the human race. We are now, the internet was awesome in 1996, but it wasn't at the scale that it is today. And the opportunities are ludicrous. And for all the disruption that's happening in all 4 of these categories that so many of you are in, with all the innovations of the companies that have the leverage with referral fees and things of that nature, you too could take the power of that platform and you could have the relationship with the end consumer if you chose to. And that's just not how it used to be. It used to be too expensive to do that. It was expensive to build 50 offices. It was expensive to give Walmart, millions of dollars to put your product on the shelf. This is the moment. This is really the moment. And a lot of my passion and the reason I've gotten so loud, especially over the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, is predicated that I just know this is the moment. I know when you have the best hand, you need to go all in. And the fact that you are even at this event, know about me and or this space or this movement is a fundamental advantage. There are millions and millions and tens of millions of agents and dealers and companies and people that look like you for a living that haven't even begun the process of accepting the realities of the technology advances in our society. So it would make me super fucking happy if everybody clapped it up for each other. Let's do that again, because that was some tennis shit. The content is the variable of success. We have an incredible team, and I've heard unbelievable accolades of the presentations around media and things of that nature. We, other people for free, you can figure out how to get in front of people. Pre-roll YouTube ads for what you do for a living is something you can look up with a Google search and pretty much get on your way, right? It's the creative that you put in front of people that is contextual to the mindset, the culture, the target. If anything, I hope that everybody leaves this year. So many people came back this year from last year, talked about they started their podcast, they went more, just an enormous amount of success and beginnings of success throughout this entire day for me. But there's a part of me that really wants to put pressure before we go into Q&A. And I'd like you guys to start lining up if you got questions. Let's start doing that because I want to get into it. There's an enormous amount of passion I have for people to get excited about producing a lot more content. And when I mean a lot more, something that I got to say to a couple breakout sessions, one of the reasons I had my team do a fake takeover of my Twitter account the other day was I wanted to find a creative way to figure out if I could post 100 tweets a day. 100. And to be very honest with you, that was just a precursor to me to figure out if I could do 500 or 1,000. The sheer volume of content that I think will be the differentiator of the mature understanding of this social and digital web is going to be the differentiator. You're not going to be able to continue to just beat your competitors by knowing to run Facebook ads. People will catch up over the next 2 or 3 years. So I'm already starting with the thesis that's going to help you compete, which is your ability to somehow figure out how to make 500 or 1,000 pieces a month instead of 3. There's a lot of you on your first try on Facebook ads with 1 piece of content converted. It's that underpriced. It's that remarkable that you were able to win when you didn't know what the fuck you were doing. So this is a really important time, and I'd love to get into some very specific questions, so let's do it. So, go ahead, my friend.
I'm a little nervous here.
Don't worry.
Cool. First of all, as a Miamian, I think it's really cool that you're here, and welcome to the city. I think you're a guy that understands the relevance of hubs that affect culture, and Miami really is affecting the Latin American, North American nexus of culture, which is a big growing thing, and I think it's awesome that you're in on that. And my question is, man, you're winning in like one of the loudest spaces. That's the most wide open tournament for anybody to compete in. And I think one of your big differentiators when I listen to you, man, that I really like is that your end goal is to build an empire of honey.
Yes.
You're a context guy, right? Have you looked around? Has anybody else, who's the closest that's come to building an empire of honey? And what stops, how are you, what are the obstacles that are going to come out of that? It sounds like such common sense. Like what do you foresee as an obstacle in accomplishing that?
So I think there's probably tons of big businesses that run by nice people. Like Warren Buffett sounds nice. I'm sure there's plenty. The truth to your question is I have no idea. The amount of time I've ever spent looking at other people, and by the way, I think it's a good thing for people that learn that way. I love when people go to another company, spend a week. We do 4Ds for that reason. There's a lot of people that learn that way, but there's a reason that I got Ds and Fs. I have a different style of learning, and it's not gonna be looking at, oh, Nestle did that, or in the early days of Johnson & Johnson, or that's not how I roll. The things the consequences that come along with running a business, or what makes it hard, is when you create a nice culture, entitlement takes over. It's hard to motivate when you're feeding everybody and taking on all the stress. So there's always ramifications to a style, but at the end of the day, for all of you that are looking to build something, if you're not happy and it's your thing, you need to reset. Somebody told me yesterday in 4Ds that they fired every one of their employees, which I thought was fucking amazing and super self-aware. The end. So I think that there's a lot of ways to do this, but I just don't understand how to do it in a way that wouldn't make you happy. I hate conflict and negativity, so why would I build a company where that is rampant? There's no amount of money that can close the gap on that feeling for me. The end. So that's it.
Thanks for everything.
You got it, brother. Go ahead.
Stranger, it's been a while.
It's
no
good to
more
see you.
oysters for you. I'm out of that game.
I get it.
All right, so I'm going to kind of go out in left field a little bit based off of something that you led with earlier today.
Okay.
As an independent real estate broker, and I've changed the brand name, and we're officially Dean Miller Real Estate.
Yep.
If it's good enough for J.P. Morgan and Charles Schwab, why not me?
I get it.
So
You
my
got the
question.
looks.
What's that?
Got the looks, baby.
I gotta lose another 30 pounds, maybe. We'll see. I'm gonna shave this off too. I appreciate it. All those oysters.
I trust you. I get it.
All right, so here's my question. As a broker, what should we be doing to attract agents to come to our organization? And what do you think we should be doing to add value to those agents?
It's a very easy trade. Brokers need to bring value. Agents have different things that they value. Some agent literally might switch tomorrow because you took the commission from 30 to 29. That was the value. They wanted the 1 point back. Somebody else might just like you because you're nicer and the brokerage that they work has got negativity in it. Somebody else wants you to help them build their personal brand because you got a little bit of a leg up and you do videos. To me, it's just reverse engineering what people value.
Where do you see where the minds are going of the people?
Personal brand.
That's it.
There's nothing else. The internet's gonna get the leads. Everybody hates their brokerage right now because the value changed over the last 20 years. Personal brand, because it's the only thing you're gonna have. I've said it a couple times and people react, it's genuinely why I think if we ever started Vayner Brokerage, we'd win. Because it's the only thing that's valuable. I'd work on less commission. How much commission you taking? How much? Yeah.
It varies, but it's about 30.
Good, I would do 16. Now I've already got a financial leg up on you, and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna build a person's brand. I'm gonna win. See you soon.
Hey Gary, Jesse Lassiter here from Bayfield, Colorado. Question for you about Agent 2021. Earlier you mentioned that last year kind of getting flack. People were saying it's kind of a hot